Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I want to give you guys an update on kind of the Mage build that I'm running, my Azerite traits, my stat priorities, the composition I'm running, and then kind of go through a breakdown of how I think Mage is being played right now, or how at least I'm playing Mage right now. The one thing I want to say before we jump into it, guys, is that this is what I'm currently doing with just 3 days into the expansion, right? Or 3 days into the PvP season. So all of this can change, but I want to give you guys an update, like a quick little guide just on what I've been doing so far. So let's hop into the game. I'm still playing a very similar build to my Mage guide that I put up about a month or two ago, so it's very, very similar if you guys haven't checked that video. But I am running Ice Nova, Shimmer, Incanter's Flow, Ebon, or Frozen Touch, kind of depending on the comp or the kind of the play style that you're going for. However, I have been liking Ebon. And the main reason I've been liking Ebon is because if two people are stacked, you have a guy that's kidney shot and a guy that's blinded, you can't do damage to the kidney with Comet, or else it's going to break the blind. Ice Nova, or else it's going to break the blind. Frozen Orb, okay, because it's going to break the blind. A lot of your abilities are AoE. Ebon Bolt is not AoE anymore. The artifact trait that did the AoE part of Ebon Bolt is removed. Okay, so Ebon Bolt is a single target way to burst an enemy, and that's what I've been enjoying about Ebon Bolt more than anything else. Okay, Ebon Bolt is still in the Frost tree, so if you get locked on Frost, you can't cast Ebon. It's not in its own tree anymore, but it's very nice because you can actually cast Ebon Bolt and then not break CC, and that's what I really, really, really like about it. Also, if you don't have Comet Storm, you don't have Ice Nova, you don't have Orb, and you don't have Ray of Frost for whatever reason, guess what? You still have that Ebon Bolt to actually burst with. So I have been kind of liking it. Just because Frozen Touch doesn't give you that many more procs, but at the same time, you don't use it that much, right? Because you have so many other tools. A lot of the times you go in a whole game without using Ebon, but it's just there in your back pocket in case you need it, and that's why I've been kind of messing around with it. A lot of people asking about Ebon Bolt. I've been going with Ring of Frost. You could play Frigid Winds if you're playing only a spell cleave. I've been playing Comet Storm. Comet Storm is a must, absolutely overpowered right now, doing so much burst. And then Ray of Frost. I haven't actually gotten to test Glacial too much. I don't think it's good for most comps, but it might be okay in a double caster comp like Shadow Priest Mage or Warlock Mage, or maybe Moonkin Mage. But I doubt it, but it might be okay. I just haven't tested it too much. And then as far as your talent choices, I'd say Concentrated Coolness. It got nerfed. I still think it's a really, really, really good talent because you can still place the orb, and it's 10% extra damage. The Temp Shield, almost a must pick. It's so good defensively. So these two I like to keep in all the time. Now, Deep Shatter isn't that good. Your Frost Bolts deal 150% additional damage to frozen targets. You're never bursting with a Frost Bolt. And what do I always say, guys? Don't burst with Frost Bolt. Frost Bolt doesn't deal damage. It builds damage for when you want to burst. So you build your damage with Frost Bolts. Now, Deep Shatter, kind of counterintuitive, right? Your Frost Bolts are making you do more damage, but you're not bursting with Frostbolt. The damage of Frostbolt's almost irrelevant. So this ability's still good, right? You can Frostbolt, Flurry, Ice Lance. You can Frostbolt, Ice Nova, Frostbolt, Pet Nova, Frostbolt, Blink, Frost Nova. So it's good, but it's not great. So this, I like to swap out with Prismatic Cloak against RMP. You can switch it out against Klepto, against Resto Druids, Dampened Magic versus, Shadow Priest, Warlock, or double dot dealer compositions, right? Frostbite, don't go Frostbite because it's going to DR all your Novas. I see a lot of people like, Xaryu, should I play Frostbite? I've been playing and I really like it. No. Don't play Frostbite if you're playing with a pet, right? Because you already have your normal Nova and your pet Nova. If you get a Frostbite proc or two, everything's DR'd and you can't Nova to control. It's just random, so don't go Frostbite. Burst of Cold, I've actually done some experimenting with. I'm not a huge fan, but I actually think it's not that bad. You can get some, Frost Nova, Cone of Cold, Cold Snap, Frost Nova, Cone of Cold, little burst combinations going down there. It's pretty troll most of the time, but I could see it kind of being used in some situations as well. But you can kind of swap that last talent around. You have a little bit of freedom with this last talent. But I usually play Deep Shatter just for a little bit more sustain, although sustain doesn't matter that much. So that's the build I'm going with. Stat priorities. This is like just a quick guide, but it's gonna probably change. So I wanted to put this out there for all the people wondering and asking. Transmog, I know, okay, we're gonna skip the transmog, but looking pretty good there, Czar. Haste 16%. Okay, so I'm doing haste verse is the PvP stat priority, and I don't think that's gonna change. Haste verse is pretty much what we have here. So a lot of gear, haste verse, haste verse. My weapon enchant, I've been going with quick navigation. I think Torrent of Elements is also good. I've just been kind of liking that extra haste proc instead to help myself get polymorphs or spell steal quicker or just play the game a little bit quicker. So quick navigation, I've been going there. I've been gemming all haste, haste enchants on both rings. Haste verse mastery crit stat priority. It might come as a surprise to some of you guys because you guys, if you're PvEers, crit is the best stat in PvE, but in PvP, crit I think is the worst stat because you just can't really get much of it right now. So, but definitely prioritize haste and then versatility. And I've been running with an equip proc trinket and an on-use trinket as well to help myself get that sustain and burst. So that's just a quick rundown. Haste verse, haste enchants, quick navigation as far as stat priorities. Now, Azerite traits, I've been running with double Thunderous Blast and a Tidal Surge. I think triple Thunderous Blast is great, but I don't have the Thunderous Blast helmet. In a lot of my games, guys, this is actually one random game from last night, just randomly on my SCADA, but Thunderous Blast has been doing anywhere from like 8 to 10% of my damage in a game with only 2 traits. So if I had that third trait, it might be upwards to, 12 to 15% of my damage potentially. That's a lot of damage, right, from a trait. And I've been testing out different traits like Whiteout. I've been looking at different traits like Frigid Grasp or the Brain Freeze one. I think that Thunderous Blast could just be the best trait, just passive damage on your abilities. I don't know yet. The metagame hasn't really fully developed. This is what I've been running. And I've been mainly running RMP in 3v3, and I've been doing a little bit of Rogue Mage in 2v2. So that's pretty much just what I've been doing so far. But yeah, that's a quick update as far as what I'm currently doing on Azerite traits, stat priorities, and my specialization. Let's hop into a game. All right, guys, quick game here. RMP versus RMD. We've been seeing a lot of Rogue Mages, but we've also been seeing a lot of BM Hunters. If you guys haven't queued ladder, ton of those queuing, and Warriors. Warriors are very powerful. Right away, this is not the greatest opener. So kidney shot on the opposing Priest, kidney shot on the Druid. Both rogues are doing the same thing. We want to, kidney shot the healer, get CC, and open up Mage a lot of the time. So my rogue actually decided to open up Druid, and the only thing I could really do is support him with that orb. I blink in, try to get the Common Storm Ice Nova, but the rogue is peeling me very, very well. A Common Storm Ice Nova, we don't really get too much. So far, this opener is pretty bad, right? We would have much rather gotten CC on the Druid and open up Mage, but, things don't always go according to plan. So rogue pops that Cloak of Shadows to kind of sustain himself. My rogue gets swapped on and Trinket Cloak vanishes there. It looks like he's going to be fine, but that's Priest Trinket, Rogue Cloak, Rogue Vanish. We did pretty much awful opener, right? We haven't really gotten anything defensively from the enemy team. No ice blocks, no trinkets. Not the opener that you're looking for, but you can always turn things around. So, trying to stay positive in this game. Polymorph being casted. Have an interrupt up now. I do lock that polymorph. Druid gets blinded. He trinkets it. And we full sheep there on the trinkets. And now things are turning around a little bit. Getting some pressure on the Mage. Trying to get a resheep. Trying to fake that kick. Do manage to land that re-polymorph. Mage about 40% life. He does have that temp shield though, proccing back up. Quarter sap coming out. Cheap shot onto that Druid. I'm not sure if we're going to swap Druid. Looks like we are swapping Druid. And it seems like we're forcing this Druid go a little bit too much. If we would have just CC'd that Druid, went Mage with the damage, we would have been able to force an ice block there. So just we're pushing Druid too hard when we don't really have to. Right here, my rogue's in trouble. We decide to, I'll just rewind a second. Rogue's in trouble. We decide to sheep the Mage, ring the rogue, to keep my rogue alive. My rogue is about 10-15% life. Very scary. So we're controlling the game with polymorphs. Nothing new here. Spamming out the Frost Nova for the control. Frostbolt to build up some icicles. By the way, Deep Shatter does not affect icicle strength, if you guys didn't know. So that it doesn't make it so you have bigger icicles. So it doesn't help at all besides the consistent pressure. Casting out those Frostbolts. Trying to maybe get some CC on the Druid, but we have no rings, so we can't actually CC him. We do get the Bark and Ice Block overlap there, though, which is pretty solid. The enemy team is kind of just forcing my rogue now, though. My rogue has a trinket in 56 seconds. They've been doing a lot of goes on him. They decided to do this one on me, Full polymorph onto the priest, go onto me. I have an ice block available. It's probably just going to be my ice block. I really want to highlight my own play here, all right? Ice blocking at full HP when my priest is in a full polymorph with no trinket and the mage pops orb, rogues on me, is 100% the play here, right? If I let myself get to 10% in the block, guess what? My priest just has to heal me back up. Let myself stay at full HP with that ice block. Really, really, really heads up play here. I actually like blocking, mitigating all of that damage. They're CCing through, but I'm still full HP, right? So now my priest is Cyclone. He hasn't moved in a while, but guess what? I'm not going to die. My priest doesn't have to use any defensives, and that ice block really, really helped us kind of stay in this game. Sheeping the rogue, trying to get some CC on the druid. Druid's doing a nice job kiting my rogue so he doesn't get kidney shot. Kidney shot finally comes out onto, oh, this is really unfortunate. Finally comes out onto the druid. I cast a ring, right? But the mage is also casting ring. His ring is what I blinked into to try to land my ring. So I actually get stopped at 99% cast here on his ring and didn't get the ring on the druid. I remember I was like, oh my gosh, that is unfortunate. So, you know, could have blinked a little bit more sideways and not blinked into that ring being casted, but we started at nearly the same exact time, but he was like 10% quicker. So that ring actually stopped the go, which is very, very, very good for them. Full Cyclone onto my priest. Rogue's getting very low again, 13% life. Time to start peeling, right? Sheep out onto their rogue. My rogue vanishes. Looks like my rogue's going to be A-okay if he plays, just sits in stealth, plays defensive for a little bit. Full polymorph now coming out onto my priest. Little scary here, so I'm just spam sheeping the mage. And here's the key, guys. You spam sheep when in between a go, right? You spam sheep the DPS in between goes to keep yourself kind of sustained. When you're going is when you get the stuns, the sheep on the healer, fear on the healer, fear on that third DPS, and then burst. So it's either you're CCing, controlling, slowing the game down, or you're getting the CC on the healer, bursting the DPS with those stuns. All right, so it's one or the other, and that's kind of how you stay alive as RMP a lot of the times. I'm stunned, taking quite a bit of damage. Throw up that barrier. It looks like I'm going to be okay. I still have another block available. We're doing a big go here onto the rogue. Comet Storm, Ice Nova, and the druid actually trinkets that end of that blind and saves the rogue with that skin. Rogue gets the vanish off. So if that trinket didn't come up, just then we would have probably won with that go. That rogue was dipping very, very fast, but the druid trinketed and saved the rogue's life there. So now we have options, right? We can swap druid with a kidney, we can swap rogue with another setup, or we can start going mage in mage setups as well. Any of the things work, we just kind of have to be on the same page on that, right? Druid pushing in to try to get the bash cyclone on my priest. We get the full kidney, trying to get the full ring on the rogue and the druid. Actually, full ring on the druid, half ring on the rogue. And I kind of want to set up mage here, but I'm not quite sure what we're going to be doing. My rogue's in a polymorph, so we can't really quite go yet. He wants to go rogue here. Full house on the rogue. Doesn't quite look like we're going to make it. Side note, I'm not playing Klepto in this matchup. I'm actually playing Deep Shatter. It's probably a mistake. I could be either playing Klepto or I could be playing Prismatic Cloak, but playing Deep Shatter is probably not great here. Probably playing one or the other talent, more defensive or offensive talent, depending on kind of how we want to play, but not the best to be playing Deep Shatter, I don't think. Kidney shot coming out on the druid, can try to go for a full poly. It looks like I'm going to grab it, and this was a huge blunder by me. I actually land the full poly, and then rogue's here, and for some reason, I Frost Nova. And I just played this game last night, so I remember. But for some reason, I Frost Nova right here, and I just break my own sheep. Newbiest play ever. Don't do that, right? We're trying to go for a resheep. We do get the resheep. Shatter combo coming out. Rogue goes down. But don't Frost Nova and break your own sheeps, guys. Yeah, learning a lot from these videos. And then we take out the mage. But good game there, right? Pretty sloppy at the end. Here's the damage breakdown. Actually doing a good amount of damage with those traits, right? Those Thunderous Blast traits definitely helping me out. You guys can try it. I just haven't really found any other trait that I like more. It's kind of boring to play with just a passive damage increase instead of a talent that changes your entire play style, like Whiteout or those Arcane Pressure, Arcane Barrage Execute traits, which, by the way, got nerfed, unfortunately. But the Thunderous Blast does help your sustain and your burst a little bit. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you did not enjoy this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs down. Talk to me in the comments about what you guys want to see in the upcoming uploads. I'm going to be doing like a full-length mage guide, full-length priest guide, rogue guide, shadow priest, disc priest, sub rogue, frost mage, arcane mage, all that kind of stuff. All right, 2s, 3s, RBGs. So let me know. Let me know what you guys want the most. Don't forget to subscribe. and I'll see you guys in the next upload. Peace.